from Bucharest, Romania.
First set. Play.
Nastase had 14 aces in losing to McEnroe on Friday.
Love. 40 love.
Connor's already clowning.
Got the line, I think. See, Jim, that's the kind of thing. Connors will stay back with Ilie Nastase more than John McEnroe will, although in the second point of this game, I was interested that made the return, and then on the first ground stroke from Nastase started to come in. That's unlike him, although he will usually wait for a ball that is a little shorter than that one was.
Game remaining.
2 aces. Nastase has been serving well throughout this Davis Cup tie and continues to as he starts off, leading 1 love, and Jimmy Connors to come back to serve for the first time in this first set. The following tennis quiz is brought to you by Dunlop. Dunlop and McEnroe, shaping the future of tennis. Who was the last person to win the Grand Slam? Who was the last person to win the Grand Slam? Well, the answer in a moment.
John McEnroe. Since changing to a new mid-size racket, he's retaken the tour by storm. His Wimbledon victory was inspired. In 2 weeks, he lost just 2 sets, and he's kept right on winning with his famous pinpoint control and his newfound muscle. The racket John plays, it's a Dunlop. Dunlop and McEnroe, shaping the future of tennis.
The answer to our tennis quiz, the last man to the Grand Slam was Rod Laver in 1969. Donald Budge of the USA also won a Grand Slam. But hear this, the Rocket Rod Laver is the only man to win the Grand Slam twice. Play underway.
15.
And Nastase has won yet another point, this time the first point in Connors' service game. It's love 15. So far for Nastase, love 30.
You see, this is where he's at his best. He could just stay back there. He slices off the backhand side. He keeps the ball low, tries to get into Connors' forehand side if he can. Then he'll wing that forehand every now and then. It's a rather flappy, flashy type of a shot from Ilie Nastase, and I don't think he has as much control as he would like to have on that side, but that's the way he likes to play. Then he'll come in every now and then, change things up. You never know what to expect from him. Connors gives him that chance.
First point on his own serve.
I think that's really what Jimmy should be doing against Nastase, and that is pressure him in the same way. Not exactly the same way, but certainly closer to the same way that John McEnroe does.
Love, or rather 15-40. Break points.
15.
They're good friends, but I guarantee you the competitive fires burn deeply in Jimmy Connors, and he does not want to lose a match here, even to a good friend, when it means not much except in the record book. but he has lost the game. His service has been broken, and it's 2-love. Nastase. Nastase to serve. We get a lot of requests from our good friends in Bucharest. It's not easy to dial out that easily. For example, Cliff was asked to call Bob Howe's wife in California and tell everything's fine. And today, Bill Norris has got a little message for a member of the family we'll pass on. Here's Nastase serving at 2-love. And his third ace.
Serving well with this one. And yes, Jimmy wanted us to wish happy birthday to his mother, Elizabeth. And we're talking on the subject of Bill Norris, by the way. They did an interview with him just a month ago. I'll tell you about it in a second. He had this to say about Ilie Nastase, that he is still the craziest man on the tour. And Jimmy Connors, his opponent today, is still the most confident, according to trainer Bill Norris.
I thought you were going to say he's number 2 to Nastase, the most confident. 30-love. Out.
You know, you take a quick look at Nastase's stats so far, Jim. 3 serves. He's got 3 first serves in. He's got 2 second serves in. He won all 3 the points he got his first serves in. He's even on second serve, but he is serving very well. High percentage at this point, and of course, he's hitting them hard. It's obviously too early in the match to talk about any kind of pattern when you're really only in the 3rd game, but the kind of thing that Nastase has got to do if he wants to win this match against Connors is serve as consistently well as he has done so far.
30-all, 2 games to love. Nastase. First set, best of 3, live from Bucharest.
Connors never ended up winning that point, but would you please just take time to watch carefully for this kind of shot that you see from Connors, a return of serve that is just unbelievable. That serve from Nastase, believe me, is at least 100 miles an hour, and Connors just stretches for that thing and seems to have so much control of both forehand and backhand wings. He has always thrown himself literally body and soul into his shots, returns a serve. That's what I'm talking about. You know, that's why a guy like Ivan Lendl, as well as he serves, has got to get frustrated when you play against Jimmy Connors' return, because you serve a boomer that against 9 out of 10 other players would be an ace or certainly a service winner, and boy, it comes back just as hard as you served it.
Well.
Oh, hit the line, skipped right under his racket, break point to Connors.
Again on the serve return, and remember that as you watch Connors taking a swing at that ball, recognize that there is no topspin in this shot, so that it's not as if something is taken off the ball. You lose a little bit in terms of speed when you hit topspin. Margin for error is greater, but watch Connors, no topspin.
4th ace. Deuce.
When I say no topspin, Jim, I should clarify very, very little anyway. Hits the ball, relatively speaking, very flat. Questionable tactic in my mind to come in behind your serve against Jimmy Connors, unless it's a really outstanding serve, and you don't get too many of those against Connors.
Going to be wide.
Game to the United States.
And Jimmy Connors was broken in game 2, but he does what champions do. He came back and broke Nastase in game 3 of this first set. So they're on serve with Connors to serve.
The fluid grace of awesome motion, the contagious excitement of pro competition. ESPN's greatest basketball schedule ever puts the NBA ball in your court. Follow the world champion Philadelphia 76ers, chart rookie phenoms and their freshman seasons. Catch the league's legendary teams in action. The NBA and ESPN, excelling on the court to bring you the best. Be a part of the greatest basketball schedule ever.
Ever wonder why Bay's English muffins taste so good? Here's why. Spring wheat flour and whole milk from Minnesota. Sugar from Hawaii. Butter from Wisconsin. Potato flour from Idaho. Bay's flavor is locked in by the finest packaging available.
Enter Bay's Trip for Two to England recipe contest. Look for specially marked packages in your grocer's dairy case.
Jimmy Connors not only lost his first serve, but only got 1 point on that serve, but he has since broken Nastase, now serving to tie this at 2-all.
You're beginning to get the picture about why Nastase says he likes to play against Jimmy Connors. He loves to throw in those lobs. Look at that. Was either the first or the second. We'll take a look at it. And then that backhand, as you can see, on the baseline and, by the way, very close to the sideline. He can chip, he can dink, throw up the lob, and really mix things up. That's why he likes to play Jimmy. You know, your really aggressive players like Jimmy Connors like to pressure against guys that give them something to hit. In the case of Nastase, he just slices that backhand. It's a very soft type of shot and just doesn't give you the feeling that you've got any meat there to get into.
Serve and a great return.
15-30.
That's why it's 30-all. By the way, excuse me, Cliff, I know you want to talk tactics, but we just learned from Bucharest that the American team, as John McEnroe intimated they would do, had quite a celebration last night because they've wrapped up this Davis Cup tie and they're on their way to play Argentina somewhere in these United States in July.
You were asking me, Jim, earlier about what it's like to play for so darn many years on the tour, one place to another, from Australia to Bucharest, and then to goodness knows where next week. As Connors is going to be traveling. John McEnroe, of course, the guy who came from Australia.
Connors pointing his low. Listen, I've had it already, Ilie, and Ilie saying, I have too.
But, Jim, I was going to make the point that after a Davis Cup win, you do go out and tend to celebrate, and it's sort of a friendly, family-type atmosphere, which is not true of any individual tournament.
First service.
It's we did it instead of I did it.
Exactly. And, you know, in tennis, of course, that happens so seldom. This is the only real major team competition in the sport.
Do
Now let me make this point about Ilie Nastase, because I think you'll find it interesting. He's a man who plays in what I'm going to call a decade ago, the old European style of play. He has a slight continental forehand, which I think that if he had started to play now, he probably would have changed some. He chips a lot off the backhand side, and that is so different from the modern Europeans like Borg, who hit so much topspin off both sides. About Nastase's game that while it may be outdated by a decade or so, it is done brilliantly, extremely well, and for so many years so many tennis commentators called him the most talented player in the game.
Nothing has come easy today to Jimmy Connors. Nastase is giving him everything he needs.
If you look at the contrast between these two fellas' styles, note how much further out in front of his body Jimmy Connors hits the ball, both forehand and backhand side. But again, Nastase with that continental grip on the forehand and the slice backhand tend to hit the ball a lot further back.
First service.
Let call.
A lot later than Connors.
That's wide.
Advantage Romania.
Well, it was again a volley that Connors should have made, Jim, but you know, Nastase just floating that backhand into him. He's got to generate his own power, and Connors really likes to counter-punch on volleys. Use the opponent's speed. Nastase's not giving it to him, though. Still no excuse for missing that one.
Third time, Connors will try to even this match at 2-all. Advantage USA and Jimmy. And there it is. It is 2-all. We keep saying that the USA will be playing Argentina in July here in the United States. And Cliff, who lives in the Atlanta area, says Andrew Young is solidly behind Atlanta, trying to get folks to give their support to it. Chattanooga's in the running, Cincinnati, Dallas. But two of the other places, La Costa, California, and Tulsa, Oklahoma, have folks in Bucharest at this moment trying to convince the folks of Louisiana Pacific to promote the quarterfinals against Argentina in their city.
Time, no matter which way you look at it, Jim.
Love.
Argentina with two of the top 10 players in the world. And of course, the United States with two of the top 3 players in the world. Not often you get a gathering of that magnitude together in one arena.
Well, you consider Noah and Wielander and Lendl, they're all the top ones are playing Davis Cup.
Right. Jim, to tell it like it is in terms of Davis Cup and participating for your country, in Europe there has never been any question. You will never find a European who will not play Davis Cup for his country, with the exception for really extraordinary reasons of Bjorn Borg. You remember he got so upset with Sweden and the Swedish press at one point, he simply said, "Count me out." That's an exception.
Jimmy Connors is not an athlete. Look at some of the athleticism to get to some of those shots from Nastase.
Oh, he's still very quick. He stayed in outstanding shape. The man who did an interview with John McEnroe that you might have seen at the beginning, Fred Stolle, plays some with him down at the Turnberry Art Club, where Fred is the director of tennis, and has very good things to say about him. Incidentally, if you ever have a chance to be at a club where Jimmy Connors is playing and you get a chance to see him practice, watch him carefully, because I have never seen a man, other than Rod Laver, put as much into a half an hour or an hour on the tennis court as Jimmy Connors does, and it's a very good lesson. He uses the time on court better than anybody else I have seen practice. Gives it his all and doesn't spend all day out in the tennis court. Doesn't have to.
That is a double fault for Nastase at break point, and for the first time, Jimmy Connors and the USA has edged ahead, as Nastase, who broke Connors, has since been broken twice in a row himself.
You thought Lipton cup of soup just made soup? Well, watch what this cream of chicken can do. Stir it into mashed potatoes, and you get delicious flavored potatoes. Beat it with 2 eggs and a little milk for an easy omelet. Or make instant chicken gravy. Cooking with cup of soup means no chopping or measuring, because cup of soup's perfectly blended seasonings are all ready. Their recipes on the box, more inside. And you thought cup of soup just made soup.
They're good, thanks. Our trucks drive anywhere. But managing money drives us crazy. A lot of businesses are good at making money, but not that good at managing it. So at Money, M-O-N-Y, we help you plan the pension, group, and individual insurance programs you and your company need. I make great chocolate chips, but when it comes to managing money, I'm no smart cookie. Money helps you manage money, so your money will do as well as you do.
I invite you to join Paul McGuire and me at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan tomorrow night for Chicago at Michigan, the first of our season-long coverage of the USFL. 2 games each weekend, Saturday and Monday evenings live, including a couple of specials along the way, including one next Friday evening. More about that later. Here's Connors serving at 3-2 in the first. Nastase had that great moment. He won his first serve with 2 aces, gave up only 1 point, then broke Connors, and since then it's been all Jimmy.
If you'll be able to see it, but I'd like you to try to watch Nastase on the forehand side here. When he takes that racket back with a continental grip, it is slightly open, and so by the time that he makes contact with the ball coming through, he has to close it again, meaning there's a wrist adjustment to be made. Not so Connors.
30-15.
And that's one of the reasons that that forehand of Nastase's is inconsistent. He can hit it very well for a couple of shots, and then it will go off, as you saw just one game ago, or 2 games ago, rather, last time Connors served. He really had a chance to break and missed a couple of forehands. Connors' first serve percentages 78%.
As you give that statistic, let me quickly thank CompuTennis and Bill Jacobson for their complete statistical help by a computer during these live telecasts.
Well, we have immediate access to all of these stats, and it is interesting to be able to just read them off to you as they occur. As I said, 78% for Connors. Let me tell you, from an editorial standpoint, that is about, well, I was going to say average for him. It's a little higher than average. Jimmy's usually around about between 70 and 75%. Nastase, by contrast, he's at about 50%, which again is about average for him. Of course, he has a lot more penetration on his first serve than Connors does, and that's one of the reasons why he goes for more.
Nastase, who was up 2-love, has now lost 4 consecutive games and is down and serving at 2-4. That used to be a patented Nastase retrieve. And earlier on, Cliff, you know, you say that some people say he's not as quick, maybe lost his step. He did not look that quick. Connors thinks it was not an ace. But Dave Mercer says it's the 5th ace for Nastase.
We're only 6 games into this. It's amazing. That's more than 1 serve ace per game on service, and that's super.
He had 2 in his first service game and 2 in his second, which he lost.
Well, it's wonderful to be able to know every time you throw the ball up, or every game, that you're going to get at least 1 free point. See that wristiness in the forehand of Nastase? There's a lot of movement back there. There are a lot of minor, just, as Vic Braden would say, sort of millisecond type adjustments that he has to make with that wrist at the last second. And when you present yourself with that, you really have got to have a lot of talent to hit the ball at exactly the right spot with your racket at the right angle.
I hope Vic Braden's watching this more. Every time I do a tennis match with him, I got to get thinking milli-somethings or other.
30-all.
And on Nastase's serve, by the way, watch again how when he throws that ball up, if he did not hit the ball, it would drop on about his left shoulder, so that he has to bend his back slightly to come through the ball, by contrast to Connors, who throws it up, and if he dropped, it would be on, I was going to say on his right shoulder, but of course he's a left-hander, so on his left shoulder. Goes out in front of him.
That's 6 for Nastase. And he has the game. Now, Nastase breaks that losing streak of 4 games in a row, holds on to his own serve with the 8 of 2 aces, and Connors, when we come back, will be serving to go up 5-3.
Playing a better game of tennis costs as little as our cover price. So watch closely, because in a single stroke, Cliff Drysdale will show you why every issue of world tennis improves your game or your money back.
First, the service toss. Should you throw the ball to the right for slice, the left for topspin, or directly overhead for the flat power serve?
World Tennis will show you more detailed instruction than other magazines to sharpen your serves and strategies. And when it comes to equipment, we give you a grip on the best. So consider this opportunity, and you'll play a better game or cancel the unused portion of your subscription for a complete refund. The ball's in your court.
To order World Tennis, call now, 1-800-544-2000. You'll get 9 issues for only $5.98 with World Tennis money-back guarantee. So call now, 1-800-544-2000. That's 1-800-544-2000.
Jimmy Connors starting very slowly, losing the first 2 games he played, now serving to go up 5-3 in this first. Best of 3 today since this Davis Cup tie has already been clinched. The United States clinched it with the doubles yesterday. We are live in Bucharest, Romania.
I think that's the way you got to play against Nastase. Get in and put him away because he doesn't have those penetrating passing shots. A la Bjorn Borg, Wilander. Nastase all over, and Nastase used to be so great because he could get to those balls even quicker than he is now, and he just made you play those kinds of shots all day. But let's take a look at the ball toss here on Jimmy Connors' serve. See, it's further over to Jimmy's left than Nastase is. Further over to Jimmy's left, being a left-hander, then Nastase is to his right, being a right-hander. But the other interesting thing to watch on this toss, while I'm talking about it, is that Jimmy lets the ball drop hardly at all. Watch it when, in other words, he's at full stretch, but the ball has not dropped from the top. You see that? And by contrast, when you watch Nastase, you will see a drop in that ball of anywhere from about 2 to 6 inches.
Oh, yeah. At love, Connors goes up 5-3 in the first set, best of 3. And our reminder that once this match is over, stay right with us because a fellow by the name of John McEnroe will come out to face Florin Segacharnu, who has faced once before. That was at Wimbledon, and Segacharnu won the first set before McEnroe eliminated him. Here's Nastase serving at 3-5.
Now check the contrast here on this Nastase ball toss, and you'll see, as I said, there's some drop in it.
Love 15.
And the tighter Nastase becomes, he tends to throw the ball a little bit higher, and I've always felt it takes just a little bit away from the serve because from a technical standpoint, to get it into the position where you want to hit it is a little tougher
15-all.
when you have to throw it above the point of contact.
Like that.
This match is meaningless as far as this Davis Cup tie is concerned, but remember, there's something called the U.S. Davis Cup or Davis Cup won-lost records. Very important to each man.
40-15.
You're right, Jim. There's a competitive atmosphere within each Davis Cup team, and certainly Connors feels that pressure from John McEnroe and vice versa to do for their country at least as well as the other.
First service.
Nastase pulls out yet another game. But the fact is, back to Romania in a moment for Connors to serve for this first set.
Who has the personal computer with the sharpest color graphics?
NEC and me.
And the personal computer that works with every major mainframe?
NEC and me.
And word processing that helps this reporter meet important deadlines?
NEC and me.
Who's got the APC Advanced Personal Computer?
NEC and me.
And me.
And me.
By the way, I just opened a resource management account with Payne Weber.
Well, I've had an account like that for years.
My canceled checks are returned automatically.
Merrill Lynch.
As a card holder, I'm offered a $10,000 line of credit.
I wish Dean Twitter had that.
And the securities in my account are insured up to $10 million.
10 mils? Open a Payne Weber resource management account, and you could be saying...
Thank you, Payne Weber.
The first time Jimmy Connors served in Bucharest this Sunday afternoon, and that's the time in Bucharest, he was broken. Matter of fact, I only got 1 point on his first serve, but he has turned this set around and is now serving for the set.
First service. Luck.
Connors leading 5-4 and 30 love.
Relatively tight situation for Connors. Jim, he's serving for the set, but he's a guy who never has buckled under pressure. Players, of course, are good pressure players. John McEnroe, supreme in that area as well. Ivan Lendl, more of a front runner rather than either one of those two.
Set point, of course. First set to the USA and Jimmy Connors, 6-4. Coming from behind, a service break. Break Nastase twice and win this at 6-4. Best of 3. And Nastase will serve to start set number 2.
Second set, Ilie Nastase to serve for Romania.
Love. I'm Jim Simpson with Cliff Drysdale. For those of you just joining us, we are live from Bucharest with the final 2 singles matches of this Davis Cup tie with Romania already clinched by the USA.
That's a point that Nastase never should have won. Connors and Nastase probably both know it. It's a product, I think, of Ilie just having played so many times against Jimmy. Jimmy had the winner down the line there on that shot from Nastase. Went cross-court. Nastase anticipated, kept himself in the point, and finally won it. But he shouldn't have.
40 luck. Out.
Yeah, I believe it's good. Jim, I was making the point about Ilie Nastase tossing that ball up higher than where he's making contact with it, and I've been watching him very carefully, and the point is not that well taken because he is serving particularly well this Davis Cup series, and he's not letting the ball drop hardly at all. There's no more than about an inch or two drop in that, as you see.
That's the first game of the second set to Ilie Nastase. Jimmy Connors already up for the United States, leading 6 games to 4 in a non-pressure. But remember, Connors now and McEnroe coming up.
Sunday, the pros are pumped for a live NBA doubleheader on ESPN. First, the Portland Trail Blazers are out to set the pace against Indiana. Michael Thompson stands tall in the land of the Giants. Then Boston tries to block out the Suns. They're both live Sunday.
ESPN's Inside the PGA Tour takes a lesson from pros past and present. Class is held Tuesday right here on your Total Sports Network.
Monday, ESPN kicks off the USFL second season when the defending champion Michigan Panthers pounce on the new Chicago Blitz live. Then stand by for a Big East battle. Syracuse is out to settle the score with St. John's, but Willie Glass makes it crystal clear he wants a win. Next, the Wildcats leave their old Kentucky home to take on Tennessee. Coach Joby's boys are going on a spree in the SEC. Travel from backfield to baseline, Monday on ESPN.
I know you like your tennis because you're watching, but remember that Inside the PGA Tour with Terry Jasper Wednesdays here on ESPN. It gives you everything on the PGA Tour. Here's Connors serving love 1 in the second set.
Watch it again. There's that Nastase forehand I'm talking about. A wristy shot it may be, but he loves to hit that thing down the line. That's he goes down the line a lot more often, and he really flailed away at that one, didn't he? I didn't hear it.
Another one, but misses. It's 15-all.
15-all.
Interestingly enough, when Nastase played against John McEnroe, whether against first or second serve, he only won 1 point in 5 against McEnroe's serve. Against Jimmy Connors, it's a different story.
I just wonder how Segacharno is going to do against McEnroe.
15-30.
Well, that'd be interesting to see. I don't think he's going to do a heck of a lot better, Jim, but you've got 35% of points he's winning, Nastase is, against the first serves of Connors, and 44 against the second serve. 44%.
15-40. Nastase, remember, broke Connors on his first serve in the first set, and he's got 2 break points here in the second set on his first serve.
So all in all, he's been a lot more successful against Connors' serve than he ever was against McEnroe.
Nastase. Connors again is broken on his first serve of the second set. And Nastase to serve at 2-love. Now, back in the first set, Connors came right back and broke Nastase to get on serve.
Second set.
See the first set stats. Connors 68% on first serve. As we talked about before, it's about average. 52 for Nastase. Again, is about average. No aces, no double faults from Connors. There's very seldom anything in those columns. By contrast, look, Nastase 6, which is a good number for just one set of tennis, a double fault. Winners and errors pretty much the same.
And that one double fault of Nastase was at break point.
Love 50.
And there's his second double fault.
Again, with his style of serving, boy, he got a beautiful motion, Jim, but he has the tendency sometimes, especially when he gets tight, to let the left shoulder drop, and that causes him problems. You got to keep it up until the last minute. Let the momentum of your shoulders bring the forearm and the wrist into the serve.
Do it again, break right back. It's love 30.
Love 30. Love 30.
Well, really, if you analyze it, Nastase is trying to play defensive, sort of negative style tennis. He's doing it for a reason, because he thinks that's the way to play against Connors, but it also causes problems for you. Just as I was saying that, I was going to say he should really try to mix it up and not be only defensive, and indeed he came into the net behind that. So,
you know, the highlight of this match for me, what you've already pointed out, the return of service of Jimmy Connors. Nearly every time on Nastase's first serve, it's an amazing return.
It is a phenomenal ability of Jimmy Connors to be able to return those serves in that manner, Jimmy, especially since he has so little topspin. The result of which is that when you see those returns, they are very seldom more than about 4 or 5 feet above the net, by contrast to the top spinners who get way, way over the net on the return.
Not 3 times lucky here, 3 break points, and Nastase has fought them all off. It's deuce.
Advantage the United States.
That's how we started the game out, wasn't it? Well, he's going for a little more on that serve. I think he figures he's got to try to win 3 points, but it's tough to win your serve against Connors with serving 2 double faults in one game.
There it is.
Game to the United States.
Same as in the first set. Connors dropped his first serve and immediately broke back. So they're on serve again. And USA and Connors won the first set 6-4.
There is a special feeling in old Oldsmobile. What makes the new Olds Forenza a whole lot of fun to drive? A whole lot of things. Forenza offers front-wheel drive, an available 5-speed and overhead cam engine, and handling as sporty as its name. But what makes this fun-to-drive car special is that it's an Oldsmobile. So it's not only fun to drive, it's fun to arrive.
There is a special feel in an Oldsmobile.
Thinking about throwing in the towel?
No, think about making it Michelob Light for the winners.
Your serve.
Michelob Light for the winners.
Would good friends really play this hard for a beer? Well, it is Michelob Light, the rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
Michelob Light for the winners.
Boy, I need help with my serve.
Tom will help you.
First, you remove the cap.
Michelob Light.
Jimmy Connors 6-4, Ilie Nastase 2-1. 2 serve breaks. And take a look at the second serve return. Interesting. Connors points 113. He has lost 5, 72%. Nastase, by contrast, on the second serve, remember, so much worse.
15 left. 30 love.
Connors has a little defect there, and it's 30-15, his first double fault.
I don't think Connors has any doubt that he's going to win this thing against Ilie Nastase, but you do have the feeling when he tosses the ball up, at least I do, Jim, that he's saying to himself, I wish this guy would give me something to hit.
Okay, the United States.
Rather effectively and efficiently done, and it's 2-all in the second set.
I think you've seen Nastase play so many matches, you wonder whether he's enjoying it out there. But the way that he plays, you know, he goes with a game plan. You saw that one there, hit that lob. He just is not giving Jimmy anything. He's floating everything back, and I think he quite enjoys it.
Not too many times these days that Nastase finds himself on television throughout Eastern Europe and throughout the United States. He doesn't hit that many semifinals or finals, but in Davis Cup, of course, you get your full shot, and he is this weekend.
He plays, of course, a few 35 and over events, Jim. He's still a very popular figure around the country. It's very high name recognition. 69%, Nastase 50%. I'm going to say those are average percentages for both players.
30-15.
Nastase can get a higher percentage of first serves, Jim, but he needs to take a little bit off his serve if he wants to. He's hitting that first serve hard, and he's getting a lot in. See, if you can hit that kind of a serve with that much penetration and get half of them in, you're in business.
Game to remaining.
Well, what happened in the first set is not to happen here. In the first set, Nastase won the first 2 games and then lost 4 in a row. He was broken back, but now leads, and they're on serve 3-2 in the second.
Playing a better game of tennis costs as little as our cover price. So watch closely, because in a single stroke, Cliff Drysdale will show you why every issue of world tennis improves your game or your money back.
First, the service toss. Should you throw the ball to the right for slice, the left for topspin, or directly overhead for the flat power serve?
World Tennis will show you more detailed instruction than other magazines to sharpen your serves and strategies. And when it comes to equipment, we give you a grip on the best. So consider this opportunity, and you'll play a better game or cancel the unused portion of your subscription for a complete refund. The ball's in your court.
To order World Tennis, call now, 1-800-544-2000. You'll get 9 issues for only $5.98 with World Tennis money-back guarantee. So call now, 1-800-544-2000. That's 1-800-544-2000.
Connors to serve, and second serve coming up. 2-3 in the second. Connors serving. That's out.
15.
Cliff and I were talking. Not a close match, really. But there have been some entertaining and highly successful moments, both in comedy and in artistry on the court.
Well, there's a looseness about these two fellows, Jim, since the...
They probably just left each other a few hours ago to get a few moments sleep.
No, I don't think that. I don't think that's true, but there's a levity about the thing because, of course, the tie has been won by the United States already. But Nastase has something to prove to the fellows in Romania. If he could beat Jimmy Connors, it would be a wonderful thing for him. Look at that. Connors 5 wins, 8 errors off the forehand side. Nastase 1 and 9. Look at that. And here the backhand by contrast, 2 and 2 and 2 and 3 for Nastase.
And it is easy to remember that one forehand winner, Nastase, from the other end of the court, running to his right in the deuce court. It was a moment of artistry.
But it does bear out what I was saying earlier about his forehand, Jim, that fact that he's got the continental forehand. As I said, it can be a dangerous shot, but it just takes so darn much timing. And, of course, he has more time on a slower clay court than he does on this.
That didn't take long, did it? At love, Connors evens this at 3-all. By the way, reminder again, there are no tiebreakers in Davis Cup play. So should we continue as this way, we shall continue this way until someone wins by 2 games.
Another forehand error, as you saw from Nastase, for the same reason. Again, if you watch it, you see there's a lot of wrist movement in that forehand. And to put all the elements together, including using the wrist on the forehand, is a problem. About the tiebreaker, Jim. Of course, that is a possibility, but I don't think so. I think Jimmy Connors is going to close this match out in straight sets before the tiebreaker.
You mean before the lack of tiebreaker, because there is no tiebreaker. 15-all.
Watch it. Nastase using his speed, never got there. He might have got there a few years ago. I don't know about that. I don't think he's lost as much speed as what a lot of people think he has, but I one of the shots that I really like in Jimmy Connors' arsenal that I don't think he uses enough is a very, very well disguised lob. That one, of course, was off the forehand, but off the backhand side, he lobs extraordinarily well.
15 all.
Remarkable there. They were applauding the try of Nastase. Not a win of a point, but a try.
13-15.
His ice palace is filled to capacity, despite the fact that these matches mean nothing. Mean nothing except as far as pride is concerned, individual and team. And in that they mean nothing except you're going to see two of the best tennis players in the world currently, Connors now, McEnroe later, on the court. And of course, to the Romanians, a great weekend for them. They were not expected to win. They have played well, but have been overwhelmed. On a second serve, Nastase gets his 7th ace.
And if you're going to serve an ace into the left-hander, usually you're going to get it into the forehand side. Of course, that's true when you serve into the right-hander, because especially on the second serve, players are used to seeing that ball into the backhand. Well, he's tried 2 shots in this game so far that were very low percentage shots. That drop shot from way back there, and this one right here that you're going to see on the replay. Now look at this one. A drop shot, a half volley drop shot that time, and unless you hit that shot perfectly, you're in real trouble, as you saw Nastase was.
There's that return of serve to take him to break point.
And doesn't he hit it early, though? You know, when he hits that thing, he's either stretching wide, but very often wide and forward. Talk about defensive tennis from Nastase. Jimmy Connors doesn't know what that is.
Got it and broke him. Nastase broken again here in the second set. Connors need only to hold on to serve to win this match for the USA.
Before you buy the new Michelin XA4 all-season radio, remember this. Every XA4 has 20 million miles of testing behind it to prove it performs like a snow tire, and like a tire designed for the rain, and like a great handling highway tire, and to prove it keeps on performing mile after mile after mile. After 20 million miles, the Michelin XA4 proved it had nothing left to prove. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
John McEnroe. Since changing to a new mid-size racket, he's retaken the tour by storm. His Wimbledon victory was inspired. In 2 weeks, he lost just 2 sets, and he's kept right on winning with his famous pinpoint control and his newfound muscle. The racket John plays, it's a Dunlop. Dunlop and McEnroe, shaping the future of tennis.
While we're away, a little levity between friends I'll tell you about in a moment.
15 love.
Connors went over to where Nastase was sitting in the changeover, picked up a towel and toweled him off, and then flapped it a few times to blow some wind on him, I guess in deference to his age. And that Nastase is 37, and Jimbo won't be 32 until next September.
15 all.
Double fault for Connors, second both in the set.
Very seldom double faults because he just doesn't, gets a high percentage of first serves in. He's usually right up at 70%. In fact, he's right at 71 today.
13-15.
But again, Jim, as you watch, he's made 2 forehand errors again. It was interesting looking at those forehand errors stats a little earlier. Only one winner is against, what was it, 9 or 10 forehand errors. Look at your first serve stats, but I just, well, I said 71. It's 76, actually. 65 for Connors. This is points 1 against serve, I beg your pardon. If it was not in doubt before, it certainly is not in doubt now. Up a service break, Connors, and he has been broken a couple of times in this match, and you'd only hold on to serve to give the United States a 4-love lead in matches in this Davis Cup tie. Nastase broken twice already to serve at 3-5. There's a match very much under control, does Jimmy Connors. Again, from a technical standpoint, Jim, Nastase can give him trouble, but finally he knows when he needs the points, he can come through and win them.
And once this match is over, whether this game or the next or whenever, McEnroe comes out to play. Sigacharno. Listen, you know Jimmy's loose.
15 love.
Between the two, Jim, they have a feel for what the other player is going to do. They've played against each other so darn many times, and we've mentioned before they've even practiced a lot together. But finally, the more aggressive player, the more technically perfect player is going to have.
40 love.
Nastase now with 8 aces. But remember, Jimmy, all he has to do is serve in this and hold it, and this match is over. City crowd is right in this. A game between friends. Romania has lost this Davis Cup tie to the USA, but they're watching, well, a man who had great artistry and was a great champion against a current day champion, America leading.
Howdy.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to Skeeter's, home of the big old buttermilk biscuit. 24-hour breakfast and friendly folks. Most of y'all know Skeeter's has great Chinese food, and the menu is wide as our new 35-item salad bar. The freshest fruit and lip-smackingest vegetables you'll find anywhere. There's plenty of great country music for y'all to enjoy. For you folks who want something more relaxing, try Skeeter's new South 40 room for more cozy dining. Skeeter's, 2601 Northwest 13th Street in the Walmart Plaza across from the Gainesville Mall.
Blunt Pontiac presents driving excitement for the 80s. True sports cars without a sporting price. Take a look at the classic Trans Am, updated for 84 with styling only Pontiac can give it. Or the feisty Fiero, designed for the serious driver with interior detailing you can appreciate. The Pininfarina, Blunt's topless sports car, refined elegance and superb performance. And Isuzu's Impulse, the car that's turning heads. Come see the personalized line of sports cars, and you'll understand why Blunt puts the fun back into driving.
Bucharest appreciates what they're seeing here. Here's Connors serving for the match, leading 5-4 in the second.
This very interesting stat here, 1983 average. First serves he got in 71. Days match 71, so he's right on it. First serve won 68 against 69. Second serve won 60 against 59. That is points that he wins when he gets those serves in. First serve and second serve. Jim, the interesting thing about those stats is that in the case of Jimmy Connors, there is not that much of a difference between the number of points that he wins when he gets his first serve in and when he gets his second serve in. Most players, particularly a guy like John McEnroe, for example, with such a penetrating first serve, is going to win more points against when he gets his first serve in, relatively speaking, than when he gets his second serve in. McEnroe may not have been a good example, but there are others that would be. Nastase is one of them, prime example. Because his first serve is so much better than his second.
Rematch points. And remember, once this match is over, we'll talk to Jimmy Connors, hopefully down at courtside, and we'll hear from Sports Center, and then John McEnroe and Florin Segacharnu will be back to wrap up this Davis Cup tie live from Bucharest. 3 match points, Jimmy Connors in the USA. Well, I would not call it memorable, as Nastase had forecast, but I will certainly call it entertaining, as the United States now leads 4 matches to none in this Davis Cup tie.
There was some nice tennis. I think there was some frustration there from Jimmy Connors because he got so little to hit, and he likes to be able to go through the ball and hit the ball hard. Nastase gave him nothing, but finally the aggressive player was going to win. Jimmy Connors knew how to win the points when he really needed them, and that was pretty much how things turned out.
It is early evening in Bucharest, and they have known the results almost before the time that McEnroe and Connors and Fleming and Arias and Hooper and Ash all hit town. They were not expected to win this at all, and they have not even taken a set yet. There have been 11 sets played, and the United States has won them all, but John McEnroe not about to break that scheme. The USA has already advanced to meet Argentina, but the crowd in Bucharest has been amazingly supportive of their own men, and the crowd in Bucharest has been amazingly appreciative of the great talent that the United States has.
Well, I think they know that they're among people who are great players. And
well, here's Peter. Let's go to Peter Scowcroft. I see him there with Jimmy.
Jimmy, another fantastic performance. I'm sorry we weren't able to talk to you on the first day. What is it about Ilie, the technical things
swings, which gives you problems. First and second sets, your first serves.
Well, he knows my game probably better than anybody, and we've been playing against each other for a long time. We play doubles together, and we're still good friends to this day, but once we get on the court, the friendship is over, and we go out and we both try to kill each other anyway. But he's always been difficult for me to play, and even today, he comes out, and if he serves that well all the time, then he's still going to be difficult to play.
Where has he suddenly produced all these aces against 14 against John and several you today?
Well, I don't know. I think playing here in Romania in front of his home crowd here got him a little bit eager and very pumped up to play, and he comes out, he's very loose and relaxed. Hopefully he came out and played that way, and he played well. He played very well over the course of the 3 days.
I mean, it was a great game to watch. Now, what about yourself? We're delighted to see you back in the Davis Cup, but can you explain your motivation for coming back in, and maybe also how it is to play for your country as against an individual tournament?
Well, I'm enjoying it. I've had a good time this week, and we practiced hard, and everything went very smooth, and we played like it. We came here and to do a job, and that was to win the tie, and we did. It's a little bit different going out and playing for Tearing USA instead of just game counters individually, and when I play individually, I take full responsibility for my wins and my losses. If this way, I'm playing for 200 million people, and that to me is now is a big thrill, and I'm happy to be a part of the Davis Cup.
Well, it's super to see you back. Now, your toast last night, I know that you said you wanted to go right the way through the competition, the end of the year, and make it 5-0 every time.
Well, I don't know if that's possible or not. That depends on...
it's worth a shot.
Yeah, it is, indeed. The way we're playing, and, with myself and McEnroe and Fleming, and the team that we have here is a very, very good team, and we're going to be playing against some very, very good teams also. But the motivation to go out and to try and win every time, but try to win every match and produce our best tennis is definitely there. Whether we can do that or not is up to the guys who are playing, so that just remains to be seen.
Sure. Now, what about your plans for 84 now? Well, I'm thinking also of your U.S. Open title, 82, 83. You got a good shot there.
Well, I have a pretty busy schedule for the next 5 or 6 weeks, and when I get into April, I start taking a little bit of time off. I have a couple weeks off, but I still play enough tennis to prepare for the French, and the French prepares me for Wimbledon and on down the line. And after Wimbledon, once I get into the summer, I'm just kind of trying to take it easy for a little bit to recuperate, and then start preparing for the U.S. Open. But I'm eager to play. Playing Davis Cup is added about hopefully 5 more weeks to my schedule. Sure. I'm saying that as preparing for my schedule for the year when I say something like that. I'm not saying in any way that we're just going to, go and walk through anything. I'm just saying in preparation for schedule. But I was thank you very much, Nastase. Very good to see you, son.
Ilie, say a few words. We're going back live to the States now, incidentally. What about this man? I mean, you two guys, you have this great record, sparring partnership. It was a joy to see you play today.
Well, he tired me out, at the beginning, his rhythm is much faster than my rhythm, and so I was a little bit behind always, but I think altogether it was a good match. Jimmy knows me, I know him, so every time we play we have good matches and interesting matches.
What about his return of serve? Pretty good?
Well, I was serving well, but when the return comes back like that, I think his return is much better, So it can do anything.
What about from a Romanian point of view? You weren't expected to win this tie. Very much disappointment or great pleasure in seeing the Americans here?
No, I think, we try our best, and I think we played all right. But because of Jimmy and McEnroe, they're playing so well right now, and it was tough for us to play our best, When you play somebody like that, it's difficult to perform well, too.
How long are you going to keep playing? You're going to try and beat Pietrangeli's Davis Cup record?
Well, I'm trying. I'm behind it. I have another couple of matches to catch him, so I'm trying for that.
Well, I must say it's a great joy to see you both today. Jimmy, a final word on the Argentine tie?
Well, I know they were ahead 2-0, and with Clerk and Vilas, I know they're a tough team. Hopefully they make it through so that we have a chance to play them. I look forward to playing them in the United States.
Have your name on the cup at the end of the year, I hope.
Be nice. Thanks very much.
Okay, Jimmy and Ilie, thank you very much indeed. And now let's go back to Jim Simpson, and we're here live in Bucharest. Peter Scowcroft.
Thank you, Peter. I guess word has not yet seeped through to the Americans that Argentina has already clinched the tie in their matches with West Germany, and indeed it will be the United States and Argentina somewhere this July. Jimmy Connors has now played in 8 singles matches in his Davis Cup career, has lost but 1. He has won 7, including today's win 6-4 over good friend and great star Ilie Nastase. In a moment, Cliff and I will come back. But first of all, from Bucharest, as you look in on the Ice Palace, or I should say the Sports Palace, where McEnroe and Secacharno will take this pause.